Hello everyone, today's poem is 将进酒 by Li Bai, perhaps the most popular and most famous poems among the people who love wine or who love drinking wine. 将进酒 is the borrowed title from the musical department of the Han Dynasty, or the so-called Han 乐府. So in the Han Dynasty, this is a predefined writing pattern of a song, also comes with music. But here, Li Bai only borrowed the title and also borrowed the predefined topics. 将进酒, the title means another toast, please. So that's the poem to be used in a big party, in a drinking events, to help each other to ask the others to drink more wines. And that's a quite normal situation in Chinese party, in a Chinese drinking events. People always ask each other to drink more wines. We use all kinds of things to ask others to drink more wines or help others to drink more wines, play games, sing songs, or sing poems in the ancient time in the Tang dynasty. There is a little argument about what time it is when Li Bai write this poem. Basically, there's two sayings. One is before he got a position in the central government, summoned by the emperor. So basically that's before his 40s, and he was just a normal person. He's trying to make his fame and get a position in the central government. The other saying is the poem was written after the emperor abandoned Li Bai, which means Li Bai actually was summoned by the emperor around his 40s. Just 3 years in the central government with the emperors, he was then abandoned by the emperor. With such in mind, so let's try to taste the feelings in this poem and to try to tell which time frame it most could be when Li Bai write this poem. In his previous time or in the time after he was abandoned by the emperor. The life experience and the inner feelings of Li Bai is totally different in these two periods. So let's try to make the judgment by yourself. And there's two real persons referred in this poem. One is Chen Xun, the other is Yuan Danqiu. Chen Xun is not in the history record, but if you are fond of the Chinese calligraphy, the most famous examples for the calligraphy from a tablet is 多宝塔碑 by Yan Zhenqing. So that's a tablet in a Tang temple, Buddhist temple. The article was written by Chen Sen, and the writing is by the most famous calligrapher, writer Yan Zhenqing. The other one, Yuan Danqiu, is a Taoist monk, and we all know Li Bai himself believed in Taoism because that's the adopted religion by the royal family as well, by the emperor as well. So that also could be seen as a vehicle for Li Bai to have to access to the royal families or whatsoever to get his position in the central government. So Li Bai always has a great interest in to make friends with all famous Taoist monks. So Yuan Danqiu is a very special one because Li Bai and Yuan Danqiu, they know each other in their 20s and they keep their relationship until beyond 40s, almost through all their lives. And later on, they just because living at different places, they never meet each other again. So Li Bai has a lot of poems writing about Yuan Danqiu, and in those poems, Yuan Danqiu was treated as a real Taoist monk, and also Yuan Danqiu was described as immortal. Basically, immortal is one of the major goals for the Taoist monks. Okay, that's the basic background for this poem. 将进酒，李白。君不见，黄河之水天上来，奔流到海不复回。君不见，高堂明镜悲白发，朝如青丝暮成雪。人生得意须尽欢，莫使金樽空对月。天生我材必有用，千金散尽还复来。烹羊宰牛且为乐，会须一饮300杯。岑夫子，丹丘生，将进酒，杯莫停。与君歌一曲，请君为我倾耳听。钟鼓馔玉不足贵，但愿长醉不复醒。古来圣贤皆寂寞，惟有饮者留其名。陈王昔时宴平乐，斗酒十千恣欢谑。主人何为言少钱，径须沽取对君酌。五花马，千金裘，呼儿将出换美酒。与尔同销万古愁。将进酒 Another toast, please. Let's see how Li Bai write this one and try to feel in what circumstance and how he write this poem. 君不见，黄河之水天上来，奔流到海不复回。君不见 is a catchword in the musical department poems. So that's a sort of the alert or remark to the readers. Can you hear it? Can you see it? 君不见。黄河之水天上来 The Yellow River is coming down from the sky. 奔流到海不复回 The Yellow River rushed to the sea and never turn back. So all these wordings is quite normal and oral. So there's no difficulty for today's Chinese middle school student. So they can read the meanings, or the surface meanings by themselves. Quite simple. Anyhow, 黄河之水天上来 The Yellow River is always, or the river is always used as an indication or metaphor for the time passing by. And so also it gives a very broad view. So the poet is sitting at some places and he see the Yellow River is coming from the sky from far away and then rush to the seas. So that's all the romantic writings. In fact, he never see the Yellow River is from the sky and rush to the sea. 君不见，高堂明镜悲白发，朝如青丝暮成雪. So 君不见, he started again. So it makes the readers alert. Also, it lacks very with very intimacy, because it's just like the Li Bai is talking to you directly. Hey, buddy, can you see that? Can you hear that? 高堂明镜悲白发. 高堂 refers to the big, bright hall. Normally, that's the most important part of a family's house, and normally the master of the house or he meet friends or guests there. That's the most critical part. Implies sometimes to the parents, or even sometimes to the central government. But here we can just translate it with its original meaning. When you're sitting in your house, the very decent, bright house, and the surroundings is the bright mirrors, so you can look to yourself from that mirrors, and you feel such a sorrow, though your hair goes white, 悲白发, feel the sadness because you see your hair in the mirror is turning white. And the following is a very romantic writing. In the morning, you see your hair is black. It's very smooth like the silk. And in the dusk time, at the night time, it turns white as the snows. 朝如青丝暮如雪. So also, this actually is the same meaning as the first long sentences. It's all about feel the sorrow and sadness about the time changes, and the life is with such a short time period, just like a day. So if you don't make your own effort, or you take your time, you will be such a sorrow. In the morning, you have the black white, and in the night time, your hair turns white, and you have done nothing remarkable, or you have done nothing that help yourself could be self-sufficient or self-satisfied. So that's all about the feelings, the feelings of the time which pass so quickly, and how short or how quick the lifetime passed. So with the very extremely romantic and very big broad vowels at the beginning, normally it's hard to continue from that angles. So from the third sentences, the poet Li Bai changed totally from the sorrows, from the sadness. 人生得意须尽欢，莫使金樽空对月. So you must enjoy your lifetimes. Never let the golden cup empty and also facing the moons, because the moons are also about the time. So this sentence is generally speaking, hey, we have the party now, and let's make the fun with it, and don't let your time passing by and your golden cup empty. 天生我材必有用，千金散尽还复来. Very famous wording till today. I was born by the heaven as a talent. I should be very useful for the country, for the people, or for anything. I should be very useful. With 1,000 goals spent, spoiled, and the 1,000 goals will come back later. The goals could be money, or I rather prefer to think it as the talent of Li Bai. So in that ways, here the poet Li Bai expressed his extremely proud or confidence So I was born as a genius, and I'm quite useful to the society, to the country, or to other people I care for. And I was with such a talent, so many talent at thousand goals. Even I spoil or spend all of them, they will come back. The talent, the thousand goals is always with myself. So that's the extreme confidence of Li Bai. 烹羊宰牛且为乐，会须一饮300杯. So with extreme self-confidence and with extreme confidence on the gifted talent, Li Bai himself. Now let's spoil ourselves. Let's cook the sheep, lamb. Let's cook the beef and make the fun of it. That means let's have the parties dine together and make fun of it. And we must drink 300 cups with one dinner, with one party. So that's expressed the result of the extreme self-confidence. Let's review the first part of this poem. So at the very beginning, Li Bai expressed his sadness and sorrow that he has a very, very big goal. He's very ambitious, but he achieved nothing for the moment. It's such a sadness and sorrow. But he was with such a talented people. He must be useful for the country, for the society. As far as we are holding a big party with friends, with nice wines here, don't let the golden cup wasted. So let's make the fun of it. Our talent are always ourselves. Let's spoil us with the wines just for this moment. 岑夫子，丹丘生，将进酒，杯莫停. With the two names, he brings the vivid scenario into the poems, like the readers is with Li Bai and with Li Bai to drinking with his best friends. 岑夫子, Chen Xun, one of the figure. Dan Qiusheng, the Taoist monk. It's just like, hey, buddy, 岑夫子, Dan Qiusheng, let another toast, please. 将进酒, another toast, please. Never stop drinking. 杯莫停, never stop the cup. Actually, the meaning is never stop drinking, because we are going to drink 300 cups of wines. 与君歌一曲，请君为我倾耳听. So I will sing a song for you, my best friends. Please listen me carefully. So if you look back to the first part of the poems, basically that's the feelings of Li Bai himself. And now in the second second paragraph, by calling out the names of his two friends, and also by this sentence, I will sing a song for you. Please listen carefully. It indicates that below it the things Li Bai wants to express to his best friends or the people in the party. Is that the real case? Definitely not. He just used his friends or this event as a vehicle to express his own feelings. So in the real sense, all the below feelings or thoughts is still the feeling and thoughts of Li Bai himself. So that's why we love the Tang poem of the classic poems, because the feelings is true, and also this feelings is always by the poet or the writer himself. That's the very true feelings.
钟鼓馔玉不足贵，但愿长醉不复醒。So my buddy, the drums and bells and the very delicious food like jade is not so valuable or not so expensive. The only wish is for us, for myself, is to get drunken as long as we could and never wake up from the wine, from the drunken status. 钟鼓, the bell and drums indicates this could be a noble event because in the ancient times only the noble family can use bell and drums as a musical instrument, and when the people is dining there, the noble people dining there, they can have the bell and drum to play the music alongside. So the 钟鼓 indicates this could be a noble event or a very big luxury event. 馔玉 it used the jade, the most precious jewelries for Chinese, to describe how delicious, how sophisticated the food is. So both 钟鼓 馔玉 is all describing this big party, how noble it is, how luxury it is, how rich it is. Even with such an environment, Li Bai think it's not so valuable. The valuable thing is the wine. 古来圣贤皆寂寞，惟有饮者留其名. So all the ancient elite saint scholar peoples, they are all silent. Only the people who drinks, 饮者, the people who drinks, keep their fame and keep their name till today. So actually it's not the fact, it's ironic. But Li Bai writing this way just to express his feeling that he looked down to all those saints, all those scholars, all those famous people in the ancient time. They are nothing. It's the people who drink wines matters. Actually, everybody knows it's not the fact. So in a second thought, we can feel that Li Bai feel such a sadness and sorrow because he think he's a saint, he's a very elite person, but he's still very silent to the ear of the emperor for the moment being. 陈王昔时宴平乐，斗酒十千恣欢谑. So here, Li Bai gave a very example how he looked down to those saint or famous people, and he looked on the people who drink wines. 陈王 is Cao Zhi, one of the very famous prince and poet in the Three Kingdoms time. We have one of his poem, 七步诗, the poem in 7 footsteps. Here, Li Bai recalls the people he looked on very much, 陈王 or Cao Zhi, who is quite famous for his talent and poems, and also for his generals. So in that time, 陈王 or Cao Zhi is holding a big party in Chenle. Chenle is a place name, so he's holding the party at the place of Chenle. 斗酒十千恣欢谑. So they drink the most expensive wines, which cost 10,000 dou. Dou is a vessel to hold the wines. Also, it's a measure word, just treated as a liter of wines, sort of things like. So they are drinking very expensive wines, a liter that cost 10,000 money, and they drink the wines freely, nothing care about how much money it could be spent. So 主人何谓言少钱，径须沽取对君酌. So that's the from this sentence we can see at the very beginning, it seems like all the words is talking to his best friends, 岑夫子,丹丘生, and now actually all the words is to the host. 主人 is the host. Why your host said you has very little money. The host here could be 岑夫子, could be 丹丘生, his two best friends, or could be others. We don't know. So here is the words to the host that he's asking more wines. Let's see further. So the host, why you say you have very little money? Just go straight forward and take the wine. 径须沽取对君酌. 径须 just 沽取 is take the wine. 沽取 is take the wine. 对君酌 or drink and take the wine and drink to you. So this is a pledge, or is asking to the host. Don't say you have very little money. Just take the wines and drink to you. 五花马，千金裘，呼儿将出换美酒。五花马 a sort of the horse with 5 flowers on the neck. So that's normally refers to a very expensive and good horse. 千金裘, the clothing was 1,000 golds. That also refers to very expensive clothing. So take your horse, take your very expensive clothing out, and let your son take it out and exchange for the wines. So that's all the words still continued to the host. You have very little money, but you have the horse, you have the very expensive clothing. Take it and use them to exchange more wines. 与尔同销万古愁. So this is very strong and conclusive and persuading sentence at the last. I will destroy the sadness of 10,000 years. So that refers to the most great sadness or sorrows. So no matter how big the sorrow you have, let's drink more wines and with me, and we together will destroy the most biggest sadness and sorrows together with all those wines. This last sentence is the answer to the first two sentences. Li Bai has a great ambition, and he achieved nothing, so he feels such a big sorrow at the moment. So with the last sentence as the answer, let's have the wine to destroy the biggest sorrow we had. And another toast. This poem looks like all drunk words in a very vivid described dining events, with some of the wild imaginations and comparisons. Anyhow, it's a very sophisticated, well-managed poems with thoughtful writing techniques. At the very beginning, Li Bai expressed his big sorrows and sadness of the time passing by. He's so sensitive of the timing passing by that his lifelong time is just like a day, which also implies he has a big lifelong goals. So the people who has a big goals, and especially he didn't achieve his goals, he would be very sensitive about the time passing by. So the first two sentences actually on the surface describe he feels such a sorrow, sadness of the time past. Actually, in the deep inside, he expresses his ambitions, his lifelong goals. Anyhow, he achieved nothing apparently. So if you're writing from that angle, continue writing at an angle, it's hard to tell because he used the Yellow River to express the lifetime passing by. It also shortened the lifelong time like a day's time frame. So that's a big brag. That's romantic. So from the third sentence, it changed totally from the angles. He said, okay, we have the dinner now. We are holding a big party now. Let's forget all these things. Let's take the wines. The successful people in the ancient time, the ascent, the scholars, the elite people, they are nothing. They are silent. Only the people who drink wines keep their fame and name till today. So that looks like wild and drunken. But when you have a second thought, actually he's expressing himself. He's still silent. He didn't achieve anything. He feels sorrows. So only the wines can help him to remove the sorrow or the sadness for the moment. Especially Li Bai has such a big goal for such a long time, just like a heavy burden on him. And there's nice wines, friends, big parties here. Just have some relax for the moment. Another toast. As to the questions I raised at the very beginning of this video, what time Li Bai wrote this poem? So by the careful analysis of this poem, I do believe this poem was written before he was summoned by the emperor, which means he has not yet go through the political struggles in the central government. He has not yet been abandoned by the emperor yet, and he's still on the ways to pursue a position in the central government or something else similar. And it's roughly between his 30 and before his 40s. He has a big lifelong pursuit. He has a big goals, but he carried that big goals too long. And what makes it worse that the normal people think he achieved nothing because he achieved nothing and he is nothing. That's totally unacceptable for a people like Li Bai with such pride. And so he needs some time to relax and forgot his lifelong goals. Anyhow, his lifelong goal is still with him, very strong wishes. It just needs a little bit of time to forget it, and then he will come back to his lifelong pursuit. Also, the pride is still with him, the extreme pride. So that's quite different, in my opinion, from the time frame that he was abandoned by the emperor, because at that time he achieved something because he was very close with emperors. That's something, but he failed it finally. So that's quite different from the situation in this poem. From the poem, we can also feel how proud Li Bai was, because in the poem, 古来圣贤皆寂寞, he looked down to all those ancient saint, scholars, elite person, and they are all silent. Also in the second thought, he looked down all those saint or elite scholars, which means he's more superior than those ones, and but at the moment he's as silent as those saint, those elite scholars, because his fame does not go through the ears of the emperors yet. The other evidence of the pride of Li Bai is
So in the poem, we read out that he was one of the guests, and anyhow, in these poems, his wording is just like the host. Hey, no money. Take your clothing, take your house, and use them to exchange the wines. He's just like a host talking. So normally in a typical Chinese dining event, this is extremely rude, but with a talent, a genius. What can you say? If I was the host, of course, I will try to find more wines and less drunk together. So next time, if you have the chance to drink wines with a Chinese person, so all the words in these poems you can recite to him as a phrase, another toast, friends. 人生得意须尽欢 ，another toast. 岑夫子，丹丘生 ，another toast. 将进酒，杯莫停 ，another toast. 与君与尔同销万古愁 ，another toast. So that's the most famous songs in a drinking party for Chinese even today. Okay, that's for today. Bye bye.